What actually happens to you if you jump off of a cruise ship? Yeah, so you guys know I'm former Coast Guard, all right? I was a navigator and I spent months, if not years, doing search and rescue on the open ocean, all right? I was a navigator. I went to school and learned how to find people lost at sea. So what happens to a person if they jump off of a big boat like a cruise ship? Well, let's talk. If you were to jump off of a big boat or a ship, right, you would want to do your very best to get as far away from the boat as possible. Most people are not strong enough swimmers. If you were to jump off of that boat and get too close to the boat when you hit the water, most of the time, more often than not, you're going to be pulled underneath the water and your body is going to go right through the screws. Yeah, the screws are those big propellers that turn. Some of those ships have got 2 of them, some of them have got 4, but those things create a lot of suction and they're huge. It's not like a little bitty propeller. These propellers, these screws are as big as a Volkswagen in some cases. These things are huge, spinning through the water, churning up the water and chopping up everything that goes through them. Now, if you were to get far enough away from the boat that you could avoid the screws, and the ship, you know, they would start their emergency efforts, man overboard, hopefully they saw something. It would take them a mile or more to turn around. Now, moving at 8 knots, you're looking at quite a long time that you're going to be in the water, and that's if you stay in the exact same spot that you fell in and they can easily find you. So the water in the ocean is much, much colder than the human body. The human body is 98.6 degrees, right? So if you're exposed to the water, and say the water's 80 degrees, which it's not, it's much, much colder than that. Think of it like this, like an ice cube. When you put an ice cube in the water, you know, eventually that ice cube will melt and become the same temperature as the water. Well, the human body does the same thing. So if you stick that human body in the ocean, given enough time, the human body will become the same temperature as the ocean. Now, while this is happening, you're freezing to death. All right, and you may not even realize. It could be a sunny day, but the ocean is cold enough. If you sit in there long enough, yeah, you get hypothermia. You get confused. The darkness alone would probably be the most frightening thing if you didn't go through the screws. While you're treading water in that ocean and only hearing the wind in the water, in the darkness, maybe if you're lucky there's a little moonlight, I imagine it would be one of the scariest things in the world. Right up until the point where the sharks that follow these boats around find you. So sharks are kind of like dogs. And over a millennia, we have trained these dogs. We have trained these sharks to follow boats around because every day they throw trash overboard. So what happens is, as sharks get older and they're not, you know, they're not as good at hunting, right? They get older and they're not so quick. They start following around these ships. So you end up with these huge, huge sharks that follow these boats around. The chances of you jumping off of a cruise ship and surviving are slim to none. Slim to none. I don't recommend it. Peace and love. I'm out.